$1.2 million of that is the judgment that we paid Waste Control. It's listed at legal fees because we paid through Young's Law Firm. Young's Law Firm paid it then to Fred Lamore, who is Waste Control's attorney. So none of that money was for actual attorney's fees. I read the comment because in my anger I had contemplated to write a strong letter, but I said, no man, we have a society that's open. And as a politician, I have to say that it's an occupational hazard that sometimes I would be bashed. Sometimes I think it's unfair, but many times the media does an excellent job. And I have to commend Channel 5 for always giving us a fair shake. But in that case, I was a little bit offended because none of that money was used for legal fees. And what is more, absolutely none of that money was paid to Darrell Bradley as an attorney or Darrell Bradley's law firm or any kind of untoward thing. If you had asked for the information, I could have immediately printed off the report like I did when I gave you the audit, and I could have cleared up any kind of misunderstanding or any kind of misinformation. Because to say that $1.3 million was paid for legal fees is a downright lie. And in relation to clearing up that, we could have cleared it up quite easily. And the clearing up is that $1.2 million was the judgment for Waste Control, $50,000 was for Waste Control's attorney, and the remaining figures that took it to a 1.3 something million dollars was what we pay for a consultant, an engineer who supervises our street infrastructure program, and we also pay the professional fee for audit report.
I'd like to defend your assertion that it's an absolute lie to say that 1.3 million was paid for legal fees. That is what your audit is saying. No. The audit says legal fees and professional fees, $1.309 million. So that is what we had to go on.
The line items in the City Council are, we call it the chart of accounts, and that's something that is given to us by the central government. So there's only a finite amount of line items, so that when it says legal and professional fees, when it says infrastructure, maintenance, projects, everything, those line items are not things that the City Council develops. They're given to us by central government. It's part of an auditing format, and it's used by all municipalities. All of us use the same format, so that when a payment is paid, as was the settlement from Waste Control, which was $1.2 million, it was paid through attorneys. When that money is paid, because it's paid through attorneys, it's going to be listed in that line item. There's no line item which says judgments. There's no line item. There's a line item which says legal and professional fees. None of that money was paid for legal fees, attorneys' fees, or none of that money. I want to make this absolutely clear. None of that money came to me. The only thing that I collect from City Council is my salary. If anything was contrary to what I would have said, the audit would have reflected it. These audits are done by internationally recognized auditors.